Hey, hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to jump on here this morning and just give you guys an update. Last night I did have another dream right before I was waking up this morning. The Lord showed me another crypto price point. Now, this is one that he showed me before where, it would have been a lower range that it would be bouncing between. In fact, it was the only dream I ever saw crypto kind of going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between this range. And it's interesting because it has actually been doing that exact thing ever since this dream. And I've been sharing with my private community, regularly, like, look, here it is again, here it is again, here it is again. It has been bouncing between that range ever since. And it's been really, really neat to see the fulfillment of that, because when I had that dream before it was doing that, I said, this is the only crypto that I've seen bouncing back and forth between a range over and over and over again. And literally ever since that dream has been released, it has done that exact thing. Well, last night, or I should say this morning, right before I awoke, in what I refer to as like the prophetic hour, at least my prophetic hour, right before I wake up, I get, there are times in the middle of the night I have to wake up in order to log a dream that I'm having in the middle of the night. But many, many times, or I should say the majority of the times, I am getting the dreams right before I wake up in the morning. It's like the Lord is visiting me and giving me the information right before I wake up. That being said, this dream last night, I saw, interestingly enough, what I believe to be the top of the next move of that same crypto. And then crazily enough, wouldn't you know, when it came down, the Lord showed me that when it came down, it actually would touch the higher number of that range that it's been bouncing off of. And this is not a crypto that I follow. And so it's just one of those things. In fact, I don't even own any of the crypto currently. And the reason is because I'm still waiting on another move to fulfill, where he showed me specifically what to do in that one first. And so that being said, and if it's not, right, if it's not first, or if they seem to happen simultaneously, then it is what it is. I'm just following the instructions that the Lord's showing me of when he shows me in my dream of me actually doing it. When he shows me making a move, I follow that specifically. When he shows me price points, I will, share them. Number one, I will also consider them for my own personal moves. But when he shows me that I'm doing something very specifically of my own in my dreams, I follow that information more passionately, I guess I should say. Okay, the other thing is, if you haven't heard, guys, President Trump just announced that the United States is now officially, and let me go ahead and remove this here, because this is just news now, not Heaven's News. And if you don't know what Heaven's News broadcast means, number one, I started a YouTube channel called Heaven's News Broadcast, where I basically share, the prophetic insights that the Lord has given me. I had a prophet that prophesied over me and said, when these crypto prophetic price points began to come to me in my dreams, or the insights about crypto taking off or doing whatever it's doing, and then the crash and all these different things. Well, in the very beginning, I had a prophet prophesy over me and said that you need to create your own channel and title it something like, Heaven's investments. I don't remember what he said, like prophetic investments or something. And then in my dream, one time when the Lord was giving me a prophetic dream, I actually saw on the TV screen, in my dream, and it was giving me the news. It was giving me prophetic insight on a TV screen. And then on the front of the screen, it said Heaven's News Broadcast. And I thought that was just the coolest thing, because God is so good and how he does things is just extraordinary. And so that's why I created the channel and named it Heaven's News Broadcast. Now, I'm going to share with you the Elon Musk dream update that maybe many of you guys have forgot about. But first of all, I'm going to tell you that the U.S. has just, whoops, give me a second. Somebody asked if we're doing church this morning, so I had to respond, let them know, come on. All right. So the president, in fact, let me share this with you real quick, because I want to show you his account personally so that you can see it's his news, not my own. Number one, wait a minute. What is happening? There we go. Okay. First of all, so there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to, but the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. Effective immediately, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. At some point, we will reach an all being allowed to go in, all being allowed to go out basis. But Iran has not allowed that to happen by merely saying there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them. This is world extortion. And leaders of countries, especially the United States of America, will never be extorted. Okay, so you get it. Locked and loaded, all this going on. That's what's happening. And then, of course, he said at about the same time, Iran promised to open the Strait of Hormuz, and they failed to do so. All right, so that's where we're at, guys. Apparently, World War III is back on the table for today. Oh, my goodness. Obviously, pray about that. But here's a crazy thing that I think you really need to know. Number one, this is something that I didn't include in my title, but I'm going to share with you. Trump warns China there will be big problems because China, you can see this as of yesterday. It was U.S. intelligence assessment reported yesterday that U.S. intelligence indicates that China is preparing to deliver new air defense systems to Iran within the next few weeks. President Trump warned China of big problems if this proceeds. Story's been widely covered by outlets like Newsweek, New York Post, Jerusalem Post, Al Jazeera, CNN, and many others. So you can go search that online if you want. The other thing is, check this out. As if this isn't the most comical, unfortunately, and evidence of one of the most corrupt, ridiculous organizations ever, the United Nations just nominated, watch this, the Islamic Republic of Iran to help shape policy on women's rights, human rights, disarmament, and terrorism. What? Yeah, read that again. The United Nations just nominated the Islamic Republic of Iran to help shape policy on women's rights, human rights, disarmament, and terrorism. You have to be living in some sort of like, this is a joke, right? No, it's not a joke. Completely verified. Check it out. And guess who the nations are that are supporting this nomination? Watch this. United Kingdom, Spain, Canada, France, Germany, Norway, Netherlands, Australia, Switzerland, Austria, and Finland. Ta-da! This is ridiculous. Guys, the United Nations was prophesied by Kim Clement to be completely abolished, and that the only thing that would remain would be the humanitarian relief, but it would not be functioned through the United Nations. It would be provided for by the Church of Jesus Christ. And that's why God is doing what he's doing in this hour with this end time wealth transfer. Many mock it, many scoff it, many don't understand it, many refute it, many rebuke it. But the reality is that let God be true and every man a liar, as his word says. And so all of these things, specifically the price points, guys, I'm sharing inside my private community on the pretense that, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm simply a guy who is hearing voices from heaven in so many different ways. As you can see, watching, literally heaven's news broadcast, and so on and so forth. I'm trying not to say too much, but yeah, inside my private community is the link is in the description section below if you want to follow that. It is not a sprint, it's a marathon. That's why I have the private community set up the way it is. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Some of these prophetic insights have taken months to manifest. The prophetic dream where God gave me and showed me that XRP would go from 240 to 140 and back up to 250, manifested in a 3-hour window. That entire maneuver, which was just ridiculously supernatural and glorious, all glory to God. But it took 5 months from the time that I had that dream to see it. And so this is not for the faint of heart. This is a walk. This is a journey. Your faith will be tested. Your faith will be tried. And so that's why we talk about all these things inside the private community, because interestingly enough, the price went up before it actually went down after that dream. And I talk about these things as well. However, it doesn't matter, because people who captured some of those gains and were not stewarding that prophetic word never came anywhere close to what God was releasing if you were obeying that prophetic insight, which I was. And I don't expect anybody else to, because remember, I am my DeFi guru, nobody else's. Secondly, it's got to be just you, because if I can see myself on here, it should be able to be seen on your end. Somebody else let me know if the screen's black, guys. Tell me where you at. The other thing that I wanted to say, and the final thing, okay, thank you, not black. All right, so here's the deal, guys. The last and final thing. Last year, I had a dream, and I want to share this with you. I'm going to bring this back up. Hold on just a second. What's going on? Okay. One more thing that I wanted to bring up. This is the final thing, and I'm just going to get to this very quickly. Oh, shoot. It's in my prophetic journal is where it's at. Where I recorded last night's dream. So praise the Lord. I'm going to have to share this link to my messenger, send it to myself real quick, and then pull it up over here on the screen and share it with you so that you can actually see it. Okay, it's loading. This is a, this was actually before I began to record my prophetic dream. This is before I began to record my prophetic dream. Now everything's recorded on social media. Oh, you know what, Keith? I think that what you're referring to is when I share my screen, sometimes it goes black before the screen loads. Let me share with you this prophetic dream that I had, because this is interesting. And I know that this has been touched on, and I know that even the Democrats were really throwing a tizzy last year when Doge was, investigating stuff. But I want you to hear this, because when God speaks, it's not a man's opinion. So let's hear this together. All right, guys, I wanted to get this word out to you. It's a dream that I had 2 nights ago concerning Elon Musk. In my dream, I stumbled upon a recording device that he had planted to eavesdrop on conversations. When I found this device, his goons were basically released on the scene to try to, scramble to try to handle the situation. And I could tell they were in communication with Elon. And so I want to lift this up in prayer because I got the impression that it was shady, what he was doing, nefarious in nature. We know in the natural that he threw a temper tantrum when he didn't get his way with the government. And he's kind of manifested this Jezebelic type behavior where he... All right, I'm kind of adding to the dream right now. So that's basically the sum of it. In my dream, and I wish I had recorded it, and I may have somewhere, and I'm still looking for it. But in my dream, I came across a like a recording device where there was actual eavesdropping occurring. And when I found it, when I found the whole setup, I saw his goons, there was two of them in my dream, were reporting directly to Elon and saying, it's been discovered. And he said, I want you to clean up the mess, erase any trace, basically. And so God does not speak flippantly. These dreams that I've been having are not, opinions. And I believe God was actually showing that there is or was actual eavesdropping taking place on what I believe specifically to be the American citizens. Now, there was an investigation launched last year based upon what I was able to find, because interestingly enough, when I had the Snowden dream the other day, and you guys got to go back and check that out if you missed that. It's incredible. I had no idea what a Snowden was, had never heard the term before. Brandon Biggs prophesied about it 3 months ago, and Kim Clement, I think, like 12 to 14 years ago. And it has to do, interestingly enough, with a crypto move. It's very specific. And I gave the price points of that move in my private community. But the people were very excited in my dream, meaning this is going to be a move of God. That being said, when God spoke to me about the Snowden and I just began to get floored, one of the first things that occurred from that day, the next day, as I was just reflecting on this and even chatting with a friend of mine about the dream because they were in it, I began to think about the Elon Musk dream, and I don't know why. I want you to hear me, and I don't know why. But I wondered if they were connected. So I need you to pray about this, and I need you to just seek the Lord and ask him to expose what he wants to expose, to bring balance to what he needs to bring balance to protect whoever he wants to protect, and to, rightfully judge according to his righteous judgments. And so I just want to encourage you guys, that this dream that he showed me last year about Elon Musk eavesdropping, it is not flippant. We're going to see something manifest from that, because every single thing that he's shown me, I want you to hear me, you're going to see it manifest. However, as you know, or if you don't, I'm going to tell you that the prophetic is seeing the future. And what that means is, just because it hasn't fully manifested to date, even after the dream, doesn't mean anything in regards to your opinion. What it means is, and this is, here, let me actually read you something that goes along with this. I posted this in my private community this morning. This is related to the prophetic price point that the Lord showed me about this cryptocurrency. Watch this. This will actually help you, and it goes along with what I'm about to say, or what I was just saying. prophetic teaching point, and this is why I have the private community, because I'm also teaching at the same time. The funny thing is about this crypto price point, I do not follow crypto much anyway. I really don't. I wrote that in parentheses. Most people would be like, but you talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter. I am not sitting there following the price points of all these different coins. I'm just not. I'm following what the Lord shows me, and that's all I really am focusing on. And that's what happens when you begin to believe in the word of the Lord and the report of the Lord. You know, all right, let me keep going. And the most of the cryptos that I do follow are measured in cents or dollars and cents, and not whole dollars. And so my mind was trying to turn this whole dollar amount in my dream from this crypto that I saw. It was trying to turn it into dollars and cents when God was just simply showing me straight dollars. But then as I was looking at the vision that I was seeing in my dream, I could see that it was coming down to a lower price range that was a whole dollar amount. And that's when I realized, no, it was indeed not any dollars and cents, but a whole dollar amount. The reason I share this seemingly insignificant detail is because it shows how it is 100% not me that is simply seeing these things, because I'm showing you how my mind would have seen it if it were up to my mind. But this actually shows how my mind was wrestling the vision of the Lord, which is common, and why I teach about submitting to the word first, or your mind will mess you up and take you away from what the Lord has said. And so that is a great teaching. Anybody who understands the prophetic, anybody who has followed the prophetic, anybody who operates in the prophetic will understand exactly what I'm talking about. When you hear a word from the Lord, if your mind retains information that puts something in a box, so to speak, then when the word of the Lord comes, it will challenge that box. And you will go through this thing where you will have to decide one or the other. And that's what I teach people. You have to submit to the word of the Lord and let everything else be modified by what he says. And then you have to figure out how this, what he says, connects to this, what you once held in a box. And then you have to determine whether you modify your box or if it fits, what you see what I'm saying? You just didn't understand how. So it's always about starting with the word and then going from there. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. We got church in a few minutes. I wanted to get this to you. My amazing wife is sharing the word today. And so I'm excited, and it gives me this break to be able to come on here and share this with you. Guys, God is so good. He's doing amazing things. If you haven't checked out the Crypto Cycles course, that's also in the comment or in the description section. That's from my buddy, the other guru. And he does an incredible job teaching on things that will help you to have a better temperament with understanding markets, timing, when not to make decisions, when to make decisions, etc., etc. So please check out the item in the description section below. My private community is in there as well. And then the course that also teaches you how to read the charts and how to trade crypto. But that focuses on chart analysis and price points. The Crypto Cycles course is incredible. And it teaches you a much deeper understanding of how to determine a longer time period and what cycle you might be in at the present time. And then the upsell on that is the $20 a month Crypto Cycles tracker, which is so cool because it actually uses AI to bring into this one giant dashboard all the information you would ever possibly need. And it actually allows you to set different trading strategies of what type of investor you are. And then it gives you information or using all of this data collectively to help you to determine whether it believes it's a good time or not based upon the data, all through the lens of the disclaimer, right? Anyway, guys, I want to say thank you so much for being with me today. God bless you. You're going to see in the coming days something come up with the Musk situation. I don't know what to make of all of that entirely, but I do believe he possibly overstepped his bounds, and he might be doing it through X. Listen, I love X. Grok is my favorite AI. It's by far my favorite so far. It has done coding for me. People always talk about Claude. I have had it produce code for me to modify a plugin on a WordPress website that didn't have the feature built in. And it built the code to create the feature in that plugin. It's very incredible that what Grok can do. And however, if Elon is spying on me, then he's learning a lot about the prophetic, because I actually tell Grok my prophetic dreams, insights, and everything. And then it helps me to put together in word form things that I send out in emails and different things like that based upon my prophetic stuff. So it's very well aware of what God is doing in my life. And so if he's spying, maybe he'll get saved through it. And you never know. That could even be the outcome. God bless, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.